Okay, so now we have put the inks into the printer. We got the printer set up through its own interface so that we have it set at premium matte. And now we're going to download the drivers from Epson's website here. If you go to Epson.com, look up the Ecotank 2720, you'll find the drivers here. We want this one right here, drivers and utilities combo package. Go ahead and hit download. It's going to take a second to download. There it is. Go ahead and you can just double click it, open it up. And the file contains the installer chain, everything you need to use the Epson 2720. We want to say OK. And it's going to start to load up. Okay. And now we're in the main installer area. We'll go ahead and we're going to agree to the basics. We're going to go ahead and put in everything. I'm going to use a scanner on this eventually too. And it's just good to put everything in here. So go ahead and hit install. And it's going to start to install the software onto your computer. And go ahead and let that go ahead. Now make sure that you're installing the driver directly from Epson.com. Do not just turn on your computer and attach the printer, because what will happen is that Windows will find the most simplest driver for it, which won't have all the extra settings that we'll need for sublimation. So make sure that if you did see it pop up in your printer list, go ahead and remove it. And then just go ahead and reinstall this driver right here. This is the one that we want, and it looks like it's almost done. Let's go into the second part. Let that keep going. Now, this is going to let us basically set this up so we can name the printer. We're going to be able to set up the settings so that they're kind of just there for us in a preset. Whoa, super loud. And once we're able to do that, we can save it as a preset, and we can store it there so it's easy for us to pull up and print out whatever we want to sublimate. So this is taking a little bit of time. Just let it go. Just let it go. And make sure that your printer was already set up on the wireless network. I showed that in the part that we just kind of came from. That's going to be important for it to connect with your computer. So of course I'm doing this wirelessly because I have the printer on the other side of the room, to kind of for space reasons. But anyway, looks like we got here. Okay, now we're going to do begin the printer setup. So we'll go ahead and hit next. It's going to ask you, is the ink charged? Yes, we have done that. That's what the whole first part of the series was setting that all up, making sure that the inks are in, that they've been loaded in, they're ready to go, they're ready to print. So go ahead and hit next. Now go ahead and turn on your printer, okay, because we're going to do a wireless connection here. And you're going to select add the printer to my existing network. Go ahead and hit next on that. Set up printer for the first time is not what you want, because we already set it up to the network. So we just want to have it discover it. So we click the second one, which is the printer is already on my wireless network, and go ahead and let that just start scanning. Okay, found it, found the printer, so we're good to go. Go ahead and hit next. And now let's begin the network installation. That's going to give us cues on what to do. Okay, so right now it's connecting with the printer, and we just let that go for a little while. Now, if you have any questions, guys, feel free to put them down into the comments. I'll try to get to them as best I can. You know, I hope that you guys have had an easy time on the first part. If you haven't already, go ahead and look at the first part of this series. It's a 2-part one on how to set this all up. The first part will have how you're going to actually put inks that you buy for sublimation into the actual Epson inks. So make sure you check that out. That's part 1. I'm going to put that down in a link down in the description as well. Okay, so it looks like it's all good. It says, do you want to print a test page? Yes, we do. Let's print that test page. All right, people. We have got a beautiful first test page that got printed out. I'm liking how it's looking. I think we're good to go, man. I think we are ready to start taking this to the next level. So now that that's ready to go ahead and hit next. And it's checking for any firmware that might need to be done. Now it's going to load up the product registration, and we're definitely going to set this up really quick. I registered the product right there, guys. Sorry, I just fast forward through all that. You didn't need to stand through all of it. Go ahead and close this up now, and let's see. You can print documents on the internet connected device, blah, blah, blah. Yes, we want to set this up. This will give us Epson email print and Google Cloud print, which will allow us to print from our phones. Who knows, I might want to print from my tablet. I use Procreate on my iPad, and I also sometimes will just be taking pictures, so maybe I might want to load those up and just print them straight onto something. So right now it's doing the connection on that. It's going to do the same thing. It's going to ask you, do you agree? We want to say yes. Okay. It's connecting, guys. All right, so yes, next. And close that all up. Seems like the connection to the Google Cloud print, and we can finish that all up. All right, I believe we have our printer, guys. So what's next? Next is we are going to do some final little touches into this. Okay, so first thing we want to do, here's our printer. Go ahead and hit manage under the ET2720. It's going to bring us to this page, and what we want to do is do printer properties. Actually, is it properties? I think it's printer properties. Yeah, printer properties. So in here we're going to name the printer. So I'm going to call it actually Subprint. Actually, Sub-Zero sounds even cooler. Let's call it Sub-Zero. And I know that that's my sublimation printer. So anyway, we're going to do that. Go ahead and click OK. And then we're going to hit the back button, guys. This is kind of important because it kind of like sets it in stone a little bit. So now you see Sub-Zero is right there. That's going to be our printer. Go ahead and click it and hit manage one more time. We're going to go back in there. And this time we're going to go into printing preferences. Now, this is what we want to take a look at. So this is where we're going to create a preset. So try this first. So let's go over here first. The document size. I want to set this to 8.5 by 14, which is legal. I got a sub paper, which does come in 8.5 by 14 size. So I just decided to go with that because that'll give me my largest print size for sublimation on this printer. And if I wanted to go bigger, I could actually probably just tape 2 of those together and end up with a 17 by 14 print, which is more than enough space to sublimate just about anything I want as far as smaller things. If I want to do an all over shirt, I guess I could keep on tiling it, but I don't think I would want to do that. Anyway, so we got the legal size here. Leave it on portrait. Paper type, very important. We're going to change this one to premium presentation paper matte. Say that 5 times fast. Okay, anyway, premium presentation paper matte. That is the one that you want. This is going to give us the most color coverage onto the paper that will hopefully sublimate correctly onto whatever we're going to be using. The quality, you can put this on high for right now. You could probably even put that back to standard. We're going to experiment maybe in another video, see if it makes a big difference. But right now, let's leave it on high since we're just setting it up. Two-sided printing, we don't do that, so don't worry about that. All this other stuff looks good. Okay, let's go over to more options on the top here. Again, make sure that it's legal. 8.5 by 14. Output part paper, same as document size. Leave that unchecked. Color correction. Okay, we want to do custom on this. And go ahead and click advanced. And what we want to select is ICM for right now. Now we're going to actually load in an ICC profile from the ink manufacturer, but the ICM is internal color management, meaning that the computer and the printer are going to use what they already have loaded in, which for most people seems to be working okay. So we're going to put on ICM for right now, and we'll also load in an ICC profile later on, and maybe do a test print. Anyway, so that's there. Additional settings, click this mirror image. I'm going to leave it on high speed, guys, because I just know from printing a lot of stuff in my life, unchecking this is just slowing down the computer. Slowing down the printer, and it's wasting ink. You know, you can't overprint. Like if something's 600 DPI on the wrong paper, or it's waste of ink, guys. It's going to look just as good, I think, with the high speed. We can always turn this off later, but I'm going to leave it like that and click mirror image, so that way anything I print out of Photoshop, I don't have to flip it every time. I could just send it to the printer. The printer's going to do it automatically this way. I'm liking that. So let's go ahead and go back to, do we have to do anything in maintenance? Nothing on maintenance. Let's just go back to the main. Now let's add the preset. As you can see, all the settings are down here. Make sure everything looks good. So we got our legal size, portrait, premium, presentation, paper matte. Again, say that 5 times fast. We want the quality at high at the moment. Color, everything looks good. 2.2 gamma. Everything else looks good. High speeds on. Yep, we're looking good. So some settings. Let's name it Sub-0. 1. I know. Actually, I'm going to name it ICM. ICM legal. So that way I know that that's my color profile and it's legal. And I'll do premium matte at the end. But I pretty much know that's what it's going to be anyway. But let's just leave that in there. And let's go ahead and save that. So now you have it right there, Sub-0. Let's hit close, and you'll see it now listed right here. When we want to go to it, we can click it. Let's click OK. And I think we're good with that, guys. Let's just double check it. So if we go to premium, we can click premium matte, and it looks like it's all good. Yep, everything looks good. Okay, so now we have our printer ready to go. I think we're ready to try this out. So let's just try it out with ICM, guys. We're gonna go into Photoshop. All right, guys. So now we're in Photoshop. I made an 8.5 by 14 document, and I'm going to just get this thing kind of blown up a little bit here. A little bit too big there. Let's take it right about there. That would make a pretty cool looking shirt. Now, guys, I'm not selling this shirt. I don't recommend people printing out stuff and selling it to other people, but hell, if you have a sublimation printer and you want to print out something for yourself, hey, more power to you. So anyway, I had this Doctor Strange picture that I was like, that looks kind of cool. It might look kind of cool on a shirt, and it gives me a good range of colors, I think, to kind of test this thing out. So let's see what happens. We're going to go over to File. We're going to go to Print. All right, so now we have our Sub-0 printer is selected. I want just one copy. Holy mackerel, why do I have 5 in there? Anyway, let's click on print settings just to make sure everything's looking correct. It looks like we have everything looking nice. Everything stayed the same. See how easy that is? Everything's ready to go, guys. So now we are going to click OK. Printer managed colors, that's what we want. And we're going to do normal printing. And I think everything else is okay. All right, guys, let's... Okay, let's try this. All right, drum roll, please. All right, let's go. It's happening. Okay. Sometimes you'll get this. Don't worry about it. Proceed. I already know it's not going to cut it off, so go ahead and hit.
As high in a lot of these battleground states as it is among the rest of the electorate. And so heading into the final weekend, they're using their biggest weapons here in the state to try to churn out that vote. But secondly, it tells us, I think, at this very moment, that we need to see the character of Joe Biden as voters head into the final decision. And other than Joe Biden, perhaps who better than President Obama, who served with him for 8 years in the White House, to testify to the character of Joe Biden. Let's take a listen to just how we put it tonight here in Detroit.
That's why Joe talks about the soul of man. And that's more than anything what separates him from his opponent. He cares about every American, not just some. And he cares about the values that make this country acceptable. I know Joe Biden. He does not have a mean-spirited bone in his body. He cares about everybody's story. He wants to hear everybody's voice.
I did 375 at 70 seconds. So I know a lot of people say to do it at 400 degrees, but that tends to scorch the material. It's actually a little bit too hot, so it's better to give a little bit more time, a little bit lower heat. So let's try this out. Alright guys, so that is how you set up a Epson 2720 Ecotank printer to become a sublimation printer. Now, if you don't have a 2720 or you have a better model, this works for all Ecotank printers. So as long as it's an Ecotank, there's no cartridges involved, follow this tutorial, it'll totally work for you. It's all in the settings, guys. It's not about the inks. There's lots of different inks out there, so you don't even have to buy the Lucky ink that I told you. I'm going to put the link in below exactly of the stuff that I used. But all of these are, it looks like white label inks to me. And so I think any of them are going to work fine. And I've known from working in sublimation, that's more about the settings and working with what you have. It's about time, temperature, the pressure, and the settings that you got set up on your computer talking to your printer. Okay, so follow those instructions. If you have any questions or comments, put them down below and we will go from there. Again, like and subscribe, guys, and I will see you in the next video.